Ryan, I have to say, you're one of the most positive people I've spoken to. Let me ask you, if the industry is growing so fast, are there any challenges or problems arising because of this trend?
The biggest problem we've seen is the heightened competition that occurs amongst applicants. The good news is that an applicant can really stand out among their competition if they simply develop a habit of continuously studying the industry.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, with all of the websites and apps available to job seekers, it would appear that applying for these jobs is simple. That being said, I've heard that the competition for each position tends to be tough. Is that true?
Absolutely. The process for locating and applying for these jobs is fairly simple. But applicants find out pretty quickly that it's very important to have an edge up on your competition, especially when everybody shows up with pretty much the same minimum standards, right? Because the job posting says that we have to have a certain level of education, that we have to have so many years of experience, or if it's an entry level experience, we don't have to have any. We may have to have a certain security guard license, maybe a security company license, maybe we have to be bonded. So all those things are normally laid out in the job posting. So everybody that's showing up, at least on that area, they're the same. So how does the applicant stand out amongst everyone else? That is the biggest challenge.
With that being the biggest challenge, what are some of? Actually, can you give our audience 3 tips to help soften the blow, so to speak, of the job seeking process?
Sure, 3 tips. The first one would be to ask your viewers to develop a personal philosophy as it pertains to everything we've talked about in this arena. Coach them to look at their employment as a career and not just a job, to focus on more than just how much they're making per hour or more than just their salary. Better yet, ask them to focus on who they would become and what knowledge, skills, and abilities would they gain if they work in the position that they're applying for 1 to 2 years. And what job would they be able to apply for, normally a higher level job, if they complete those couple of years successfully. The second tip would be record keeping during the job hunting process. So regardless of what site they're using for their job hunting or their job searches, understand that you're probably going to be required to fill out a profile. And then after you have your profile complete, after you've invested 30 to 60 minutes on this, you're going to begin your job search and you're going to click apply for this job. And it's going to ask you to enter in all that information that you just put over here. That can be frustrating. So now that we know that in advance, it's already going to be less frustrating because it's just part of the deal. What you want to do is have a Word document created in advance that has all the elements of a normal application. So I'm talking about things like your last 10 years of employment, your last 10 years of residences and your addresses. Things like the names of your previous supervisors. What are the addresses of the buildings that you worked at? Who are your personal references? What are their addresses? What are their telephone numbers? These are all things that the majority of us forget. So having those in a Word document that you can just copy and paste whenever a system asks you to, it's going to allow you to get through this with a lot less frustration. And then for the third and final tip, I would advise your viewers to prepare for that feeling of rejection that can be associated or brought upon ourselves whenever we get a no or a letter of denial and we start to feel rejected. Those things are all a very normal part of the job seeking process. So when that happens, remind them not to take it personally. And yes, I know that's easier said than done, but now they got a little heads up, right? That this feeling may creep in. So don't take those things personally and just throw your hands up and understand that, hey, this job wasn't meant to be. Simple as that. There's going to be another job that's going to be more suitable for the applicant in the economic environment that they are applying for work within.
That is true wisdom. Thank you so much for being on our show today. 2 final questions. 1. If you had to pick one thing that IST specializes in, what would that be? And 2. If any of our viewers want to connect with international security training, how can they do so?
So our specialty is providing actionable education to our students. And they can do this via an online education platform, so they don't have to travel anywhere. They can learn at their own pace, complete things at their own pace. Everything is saved and tracked. At the end, they can download their certificates right from the portal, or if they want, we actually have these nicer frameable certificates. They can send us an email and ask us to create one of those for them. It's really neat. And one of the cooler things on our website is our free resources. So if your visitors were to go to internationalsecuritytraining.org, have them look for the link that says free items. It's either going to be a link or a tab depending on the device that they're using. But have them go find those things, and there's going to be a whole slew of downloadable PDFs that they can grab up. There's going to be a bunch of videos that they can view, and it's everything from physical security to security supervision and management, casino, resort security, retail security, hospital, school, campus. There really are so many different things that we need to know when we hit these different environments as far as security is concerned. So that is a great place to get some job-focused information on the industry.